What is up? What is up? What is up, my YouTube friends? How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing awesome. There is a lot of weird shit going on out in the world, and hopefully for these couple hours you can come in here, ask questions, and escape all of that. Everyone is equal here, of course. And I'm looking forward to answering your questions on live streaming and YouTube and whatever else you have that is pertaining to YouTube. I can't wait to answer your questions. It is really awesome to see so many people in here already. Harrison Family Vlogs, hello. Kyle Springer, Mom of 4. Mom of 4, it has been a minute. It is awesome to see you. Johnny Bean, hello. Reaper Faction, hello. Juan Francisco, Puerta Ibera. Man, that's a good one. Tomer Chen, Rihanna, hello, hello. What do we got? Boreas Moog Gamer. Boreas. Man, I suck at names. I've already probably exceeded the limits of names I can actually use. But Judy Myers, hello. Reaper Faction in the house. Lucky Sevens. It's the beautiful YouTube angel. Pauline Newman is in the house. Tech Examine in the house. Hello. So the rules tonight are, if you have a question at Tech Examined, he is going to feed them to my sandwich maker, who will make sure that we get every single one of your questions answered. So and of course we'll catch ones if you don't at Tech Examine, but if you can, please add Michael T. Panetta at Tech Examine so that you can so that he can aggregate all the questions, because that would be awesome. Let's see, from Israel, Tomer, that's awesome. Welcome, welcome. Coomerang Pam, hello from Melbourne, Australia. Friggin' awesome. Is this Papachu 67? Hello. Well, thank you for the congrats on the 7K. Man, it's pretty friggin' epic. Epic. It's awesome. So we've got a first question here. What tips would you give for a smaller YouTuber channel like you? Reaper Faction, are you looking for live streaming tips, or are you looking for just YouTube growth tips? Because I can divvy out either of those. Just let me know what you would like. Julio Servio, hello. Big shout out to Corey Goldilocks. Win on his 17th birthday. Can you shout at him? Cut his hair, please. Goldilocks, cut your hair, man. Come on. Let's see. I want to wait for a response from. I want to wait for a response from Reaper Faction. What tips would you give for a small YouTuber, like smaller YouTube channel? Let's see. Harrison Family Blogs. Okay, he's asking another question. To gain views, subs and views. Okay, Reaper Faction. The best thing that I can tell you is to analyze the competition for the particular niche that you're in. So let's say, I don't know what exactly your content is, but in the content that I do, what I do is I'll go out on YouTube and I'll search for live streaming, and I'll look and see what other live streaming channels are due. And I'll analyze those channels, and I'll look at what videos are their top videos. And I'll watch all of those top videos from each of those different channels, and they will inform me as to what YouTube likes to share. Because you don't get thousands of views or hundreds of thousands of views or 500,000 views or 1 million views unless YouTube is sharing your content. I promise you, you are not going to get those kind of views by shaking hands and kissing babies. It's not going to happen. You need YouTube's help. And the best way to get YouTube's help is to go and watch videos that already are working and that YouTube is sharing. So the best tip that I can recommend for any new YouTuber who's just looking to grow views, please don't worry about growing subscribers. Just grow views. Subscribers come from views. It's like the view is the sales pitch. And the subscribe is when you've sold the person. So every day I create videos, and those videos are pitches. And they're telling you information that you might want to know. And when you buy in and you say, damn, Mike knows what he's talking about, he's not an idiot, I want to watch more of his stuff, and you subscribe, that means I've sold you on my channel. So don't worry about subscribers. Subscribers are the end result of getting views.
Woo,
and the best way to get
was
views.
Incredible.
Thank you for the subscribe. The best way to get those views is to analyze what the other people in your niche are doing. Look at what their intros are like. How long is their bumper in between, that little clip that kind of brands their channel? How do they talk to their audience? How long are their videos? How do they re-engage their audience? All of those things are going to tell you what YouTube wants from what other people are doing in that genre. And I'm not saying copy that stuff. I'm saying, especially as a new YouTuber, when you don't really know anything, use that information to inform you on how to best create videos that are going to be suggested by YouTube. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's answering the question in a way. I hope that answers the question in a way that makes sense to you. I'd be more than happy to dive into that hole a little further if you'd like. Not a problem. Not a problem. Karen Summers, hello. It is awesome to see you, Karen. Woo. So, do we have any actual questions?
We do have questions.
Oh, hold on. What's the question, Monica?
The question is from Harrison Family Vlogs, and they say, I have my settings to output at 1080p in Streamlabs OBS, but it still only broadcasts at 720p. I bought a nice laptop to stream with.
Okay. Well, all right. So you have, as far as we can tell, you have your settings set up to broadcast in 720, but it's only broadcast, or in 1080, but it's only broadcasting in 720. So let's pop over here to our tutorial thingy and take a quick look. So here is your average OBS. We're going to go into settings. So we're going to go to output. No, we're not. We're going to go to video. And you can see here my canvas size is 1920 by 1080. Your canvas size is this black area here. And then my output scaled resolution is 1920 by 1080. If your streams are showing up in only 720, it's possible that maybe you have your scaled output resolution incorrect. If your scaled output resolution is correct, then the other factor is that YouTube will resize the stream depending upon the quality, and perhaps you're not streaming at a high enough bit rate for YouTube to give the full 1080. So I think the minimum you should stream in 1080 at 30 frames per second personally is about 2,500 bits per second. Now I stream at 550, as you can see here. But yeah, 2,500 bits per second is probably the minimum that you should stream at in order to make sure that YouTube actually gives you the full HD. I hope that answers your question, or at least gives you some other things to think about and look at. If you stream and you know that your output scaled resolution is 1920 by 1080 and you're still getting a 720 stream, I would try to up your bit rate if your connection will allow it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Hello, Moss. It's awesome to see you, Moss6510. It is awesome to see you. We actually have Moss listed over here in our awesome channels. And if you don't know what Moss does, he runs a channel that talks about scale models. And I always love doing them. I wish I had more time to do stuff like that. But he walks through the different versions of the scale models that you can buy and reviews them and talks about them and tells you about the vehicles and a little bit about their history. And he does some live streams where he actually puts some of these together and shows you different techniques and methods for painting them and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested or possibly interested in scale models, the link is in the description to his channel, and that's him right there. That's him. It's good stuff, and he's a really nice guy. So check him out if you're interested. Monica, do we have any other questions?
Oh, there are questions.
There are questions. There are questions. Well, my goodness.
Lots of questions.
Here we go.
Okay. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Double Kicks says, hold on, my screen just, there's questions coming in. He says, hi, Michael, may I please ask, is there a way to do a live interview hosting to any RTMP with a guest also running OBS? Thanks.
Okay. All right. So who asked the question?
That was Double Kicks.
Double Kicks. Double Kicks. I need a little bit of clarification. And by the way, if you asked a question, please stick around. I will get to every single question. I promise. It might take a little while because I like to make sure that I can answer as many of the questions as I can in full detail. Now I forgot the question because I'm a moron. What was it?
The question was, is there a way to do a live interview hosting to any RTMP with a guest also running OBS?
Okay. So are you trying to say that the guest is running OBS or that you are running OBS? Because you can stream guests to an RMTP without any problems. You bring your guest in through Skype or Zoom or Google Hangouts, however you want to do it. But if the person who you're adding as a guest is running OBS, then the only way to do that,
Whoa, that's
and
awesome.
add that like
Thank
as a
you.
camera in your OBS, is if you're on the same network. If you're on the same network, you could do that. Wow, thank you so much, Coomerang. Thank you so much. Oh, wow, look at that. They just flew everywhere. Woo! That was awesome. Just like the thing he said. I'm repetitive now. Wow, that was awesome, though. Hey, Gamma, how you doing? So the way that you could do it is if you were on the same network and your buddy's running OBS, you could import him as a source, an NDI source, and then you can size him up anywhere you want on your screen and then put in whatever you want. But from a different network, the only way to add a guest visually would be Skype, Zoom, Hangouts, Microsoft Teams, any one of those things. Like they're not going to be able to stream their OBS to your connection. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. If you are on the same network, then it's easy to do. And actually, let me just pop into the tutorial piece and I will show you. So let's say that you are the person who's trying to stream their OBS so that you could be added as a guest. You'd have your camera and everything all set up in here, and you go up into Tools, you go to NDI Output Settings, and you just put on your main NDI output, and it's going to be OBS or whatever you want to call it. You could call it guest or whatever. And so that would be the one that outputs. Now, let's say that this is the one that's going to be inputting you as a guest. You just go down in here, go to NDI source, name it guest or whatever you want. And then you just go in here in the source name. When you drop that down, that name that you gave it, like guest or OBS or whatever it was, will be listed here in NDI source. You can just add it. You could set up your bandwidth and all that kind of stuff, and then you can add it. But like I said, you can only do that if you guys are both on the same network. Once he's on the internet, that is not possible. You'll have to add him in another way, probably using Skype or Zoom or, any other conferencing software. All right. So William Justice, hello. Just don't muck up. What does that mean? Double Kicks, hello. We are not on the same network. So if you're not on the same network, you're going to have to use Skype or you're going to have to use Zoom. I do have some videos for either of those methods. If you're interested, let me know and we'll drop a link in there. Good night, Karen. It was nice of you to pop by. My PC mirror. Okay. So let's see. Do we have any other questions, my beautiful lady?
Michael T did say, though, there's an echo when you talk to me when I'm on.
Oh, well, that's because her microphone is way closer than it should be. So what I'll do is I will turn my microphone off when we're on your camera. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're up.
I'm up. Okay. Question from Matt Napo. Using OBS with Streamyard, how do you get audio from a video clip into Streamyard?
Can you repeat the question?
Using OBS with Streamyard, how do you get audio from a video clip into Streamyard?
Okay. All right. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a video audio clip into Streamyard. Video with an audio clip. All right. Let me open up me some Streamyard here. Let's get it on the tutorial screen so you guys can see me. Kablam! Look at that. Woo! All right. Streamyard. All right, and we're gonna go to Streamyard. We're gonna log in, and we're gonna enter a broadcast studio here. Now, this is already forgetting. Yes, I'm already forgetting. Well, it doesn't like I can't use that camera, so we're gonna use my USB live camera. I think we'll try. We'll see it. I don't know. And then I should be able to use my regular microphone. And we're gonna. There we go. There we go. Unmute. And that looks okay. I mean, you know, you get a little bit of a corner angle when you see me. You know what I mean? It's gonna work. We're gonna be okay. Okay. So now that we're in here, now I just want you to understand that this is a paid feature of Streamyard. And if you're interested in checking out Streamyard, the link is in the description, by the way. But or I can, maybe the link isn't in the description. If you're interested in checking out Streamyard, let me give you a link in the thing so that you can check it out. But this particular feature of Streamyard is not one that comes free. So I just want you to be aware of that. But if I go over here into let's see, I believe it is banners. No, it's not. It's brand. Okay, so you can add a video to this overlay here, and you can see that the video can be 100 megabytes up to 5 minutes, and you can have audio or video or anything you want. So if you were going to add a video to your Streamyard presentation, it has to be 100 megabytes or less, and it has to be 5 minutes in length or less. And you can, let's see, do I have anything here? I think I might have something here. Yeah, there you go. See, that actually has audio. That has some audio, but you guys can't hear it because I don't have that sound pumping through. But just so you are aware, any of these video clips that I have in here that have audio, that would play on the stream. I don't know if I have another audio clip that I can put in there. It doesn't matter because it's not like you guys can hear it because of the way that I have this set up. But hopefully that gives you the idea of what let's see, I could probably go to downloads. Let's see what we got in here. Stinger wall. I don't have any video in here at all. I don't have any video in here at all, so I can't show you anything more than this. But well, this is a video too, but it doesn't have any audio. The point is, you could do 5 minutes of video. All it has to be is MPEG format. I believe it accepts MPEG. I think it might also accept MOV files as well. And it's pretty simple. The recommended size 1280 by 720, which means you can get pretty decent stuff under 100 meg with 5 minutes of length. So I hope that answers your question. I hope it does. And there we go. I'm gonna, you know what? This is gonna be using my camera if I keep it like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick it off, and if we need to go back in there, I can go back in there again later. So hopefully that answers your question. Did we get a response? Did I answer that question properly? By the way, for those of you who are running a Mac or you have a machine that doesn't have the kind of power to run OBS, it's nothing to be ashamed about. You can run Streamyard and put together some absolutely amazing broadcasts with Streamyard, and it doesn't use any of your computer power. It just makes it really, really easy, really easy for you to be able to, do anything that you want to do and not have to worry about your computer crapping out and all that kind of stuff. So definitely consider Streamyard. Even without paying for it, you still get a pretty decent number of hours that you can use it, and some features that are really cool. And if you pay for it, you can put overlays and backgrounds. It's really easy to add guests. So, you know, there's a lot going for it. Go ahead.
There's an update from Matt, the guy who just asked the question.
Okay.
For answering. He says, no, that's not what he's asking. He says, I play the clip in OBS, but the audio doesn't get to Streamyard. Oh, yeah, all right. That's because you have to route the audio. Just like how you saw I was just in Streamyard and the audio didn't route to my OBS. It's because I don't have it routed to OBS. I don't have that input. So the only way that you're going to be able to get audio input into your... All right, so when you go into Streamyard, let's go back into Streamyard here, because I know exactly what you're saying, and you're not just going to be able to do this straight out of the box. It's not the way it's going to work. You're going to have to get some application or something to do what you want it to do. You're going to have to get some kind of router application that's going to combine your audio, and I'll show you why. Okay, live camera, yes, that's what we want to do, and we'll put our camera on. Look at that, there it is again. And then if I go into CamLink, USB camera, that's good. When we go to audio, here's what we have listed. We have my microphone for my general camera. We have the digital audio interface from my CamLink. We have the microphone for Monica that she's using over there. Excuse me, for the Monica cam. Okay, so we have all those things, and then we have my new tech NDI audio line. You're going to have something on your computer, some sort of application running in the background that will capture the audio that's from everything, from your microphone, from the sound that's coming into your computer, like anything that would be broadcast out to the speakers. You need an application that's going to capture that and turn it into a microphone input in Streamyard. That's what you're going to need. And there are a couple of things out there to do it, but I don't know that there's any actual tutorials out there for it yet. And I haven't personally looked into it, but there are plenty of applications that you can get for a PC that will take a bunch of inputs and combine them into one. And that's what you need. You need a bunch of inputs combined into one so that you can add it as a microphone in your Streamyard. And hopefully that answers your question. And I wish I could be more specific about which applications you should use, but this isn't something I've really tested or messed around with too much yet, so I might have to do that in the future. It might be something I have to play around with in the future, because this is actually the second time that someone has asked the question, how do I capture my desktop audio so it goes into Streamyard? All you have to do to capture your desktop audio to go into Streamyard is use some sort of aggregate device in Windows that captures the audio that would normally be outputted to your speakers and routes it with your microphone into an input that you would use in Streamyard. So hopefully that answers your question. Did we get a response? Hey, it's Budget Bushcraft. Hello. Jelly Duck is in the house as well. That's epic. Waves from the UK. That's right. And there's Moss. We're gonna hook him up. Hold on. Do we have a question? Oh, we have a question. There's a side note and a question. Do you want the side note or the question? Side note, somebody donated on Streamlabs and nothing came through on the stream.
Nothing? Well, let's go over... Hold on. Let me get back to my main cam. We're going to go back to main cam here so that I could take a look and see what it was, because that sucks. That's not cool at all. I apologize. Just give me a moment. Tech Examined. Holy... Tech Examined. Beers on me next week. Damn, you're right, brother. Thank you, Tech Examined. I appreciate that. $25 from Michael T. Panetta. I wonder why that hasn't come through yet on the screen. That is not cool. It says it right there in the last donation. It showed up. But it did not trigger any of my animators, which is totally uncool. You see that, Michael T? It did show up in last donation, but it did not show up in any of my animators. So let me just go and I want to run a quick test. So anyone who knows anyone could do this sort of thing if you notice that your animations for whatever reason are not working right or whatever.
Woo,
You can
that
run
was
a test
incredible.
to see what happened, and there it worked. So why didn't it play it? Why? Well, excuse me. Thank you, Michael T. I really do appreciate it. That was freaking awesome. Just awesome. You're the best, man. That's incredible. I got the coffees today. All right, we're gonna go back in here, and my mic's muted. You're good. So
Okay, I'm good. Okay, Papucho67 says, I'm stuck at 800 plus subs. How can I grow?
Okay. All right. Let's see here. And what was the user's name?
Papucho67.
Papucho. So you're stuck at 800 subscribers. Can you describe a little bit about what you do on your channel? Because I think a lot of the advice that I might have could be naturally affected by the kind of stuff that you do. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, I'd like to go PAP. How do you spell you? UCHO 67. Let's take a look. 827 subscribers, 318 videos. Boom Beach. Oh, let's see. All right, so right off the top, Legendaries versus 600 Stunners, Warship 11 Gold. Wow, this is cool. Hold on, I'm going to flip over to the tutorial section. I do Boom Beach gameplay. Okay, so part of it could be how popular Boom Beach is.
Woo, that was incredible.
Ooh, thank you, White Beanie Guy. I appreciate it. I do. Part of it could be how popular the search is for those particular type of videos. Let's see, 40, 26, 36. Okay, so if you're doing, here's the first thing. If you're doing Boom Beach gameplay, every one of these titles should have Boom Beach in the title. And the reason why is because you're not telling anyone what you actually do. In other words, Warships 11 Gold, 4 Ducks Head versus Mad Manners. People who play Boom Beach might know what that means, but are these terms searchable? The most searchable term that you're going to have in these videos is Boom Beach, and you want to make sure that that is in every single one of your titles, because that's going to tell YouTube, hey YouTube, this is what I do on my channel. When you're first starting out, another factor that you guys need to understand is that YouTube, since you don't really have an audience per se, YouTube doesn't know who to share your content with. Later on, when you start to gain an audience, YouTube uses the people that are watching your videos to tell them who to share your content with. But when you first start out, the best way to grow fast and the best way to gain an audience is, well, obviously making content that people want to watch, making great thumbnails, which, by the way, Papucho, these freaking thumbnails are excellent. They're very, very good. They're very well done. So the next step for you is to make sure that you get your videos in search. Use search terms, especially long tail search terms that are going to be effective at making your Boom Beach videos climb to the top of the search. That's the best advice that I can give any new YouTuber, besides the advice that I gave earlier about doing your channel research. But make searchable content when you first start on YouTube, because it's the only way that people can find you, because YouTube doesn't really necessarily know who to share your content with. But let's say that Papucho did a video and he included the, Boom Beach Epic Warships 11 Gold or something, and that's the title. Okay, so YouTube knows it's Boom Beach. So are there any other viewers out there that are searching for Boom Beach? Well, maybe we can share it with a couple of those people. And are there any other, are there any other viewers out there that that are any of his viewers out there. In other words, it models those things. And at least if you choose searchable terms for your channel, for your titles, if you choose searchable terms, then you can rank in search. And then it doesn't matter whether YouTube shares your content. All that matters is people are searching for those terms. Now, if you don't know a lot about how to find search terms and how to do all that stuff, there actually is a link in the description that can really help you for TubeBuddy. And I'll put it in. I'll toss it in the chat here because I think this one is really, really important. If you are interested in finding ways to grow your channel, especially when you're just starting out, you want to use searchable terms in your titles. And you can find searchable terms by using TubeBuddy, and it's going to tell you how popular the search term is or how unpopular the search term is, how many videos there are out there for that particular search term, and all that kind of stuff. So it can really inform you on what the most popular search terms are for Boom Beach, and then you can create more videos to that. And I also want to say, Papucha, if there are other people out there making videos on Boom Beach, you might want to check and see how many views they're getting. Check and see what their most popular videos are, what their most popular topics are. Watch those videos, take a look at how they engage their audience and all that kind of stuff, and use those tricks. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. You can still be original using tricks that you already know are from YouTubers that YouTube is sharing. It only helps you. It only helps you, and it speeds up the process. It speeds up the process. So I hope that answers your question, Papucho, and gives you some idea of things to do. Definitely check out TubeBuddy because just you go in there and you go to their search thing and you put in your the top 10 interesting things about Boom Beach, and it'll bring up some long tail keywords that can help get you ranked. And that's the easiest way. You don't get subscribers from talking to people and shaking hands and kissing babies. You get subscribers from views. And so views are derived from having great content with great thumbnails and great titles. And when you're just starting out, the best way to get views is to make great content with great thumbnails and very searchable titles. Searchable titles. Get ranked. That's the best way to do it. That's exactly how I went from 1,800 subscribers to 7,000 subscribers in about 2 months. All of that was based on the fact that YouTube couldn't deny that my content was rising to the top of the search engine. And they said, okay, there must be something to this guy or whatever he's doing. And they started to push it out. Next thing you know, I've got a video with 100,000 views. But that never would have happened if I didn't go and use a service like TubeBuddy to give me the search titles and to give me the search information on what was gonna give me the best results. So definitely go to and search for Boom Beach on TubeBuddy and see what kind of results you get from the information that it gives you. It's Genevieve, Christopher, hello! Nice to see you, my friend. Let's go back to the Monica cam.
Did you see Papucho's response?
I didn't.
Right there.
Oh, the biggest guy has 100K subs. Boom is a good game. And Mike, solid advice, thanks. Papucho, if you need any more help or whatever, just go get yourself some TubeBuddy, get yourself some searchable titles. Definitely the guy with the 100,000 plus subscribers, watch his videos, see what he's doing. Don't copy him. But again, if he does things that you like, that you know YouTube likes, like how his thumbnails look and like how his titles look, then use those tactics. They're not, he doesn't own those tactics. He may have created those tactics or whatever. It doesn't mean that you can't use the same thing to drive views to your channel. So definitely check it out. And in the next couple of weeks, after putting out a video or 2 or 3 with those tactics, I would love for you to respond here and let me know how it's going. And I'll go back and I'll go out and I'll check out your channel again. And we'll see if we can't see what else we can do. Okay? That's awesome, Papuccio. I appreciate that. All right, let's go see what the next question is. Monica, what is the next question?
Next question comes from Coomerang Pam. I wanted to start live streaming using OBS Studio. Do you have a full tutorial on how to set up OBS? I've watched other tutorials and they're quite technical. Thank you.
Okay, so that was from Coomerang?
Coomerang Pam. Yeah.
All right, Coomerang Pam. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, OBS is kind of technical. It really is. So to really get it and to really figure it all out, it's just going to take a little bit of time. With that being said, let me drop a link in here to some of the more beginner tutorials that I have that can just get you up in live streaming, if I can figure out how to do that. Because, man, I'm on the wrong page. Hey, do you guys get the feeling that it's a little warm in here? Are you getting that feeling, honey? You getting that feeling that's a little, just a little bit warm in here? You don't think they can tell?
I don't know. It depends how you look.
Well, I'm just letting you guys know that it was in the 90s today. And while this room does have air conditioner, it doesn't have air conditioner while we're live streaming because it sounds like a train running through the room. So I ran the air conditioner in this room for about 2 hours before we started, hoping that it would work. Now, because we have Monica's cam set up in here, I've got 2 lights on me. She has 3 lights on her, which mostly are just lighting up the green screen, because you got to have really good light for a green screen. And yeah, let's just say that I'm guessing I'm not going to smell fantastic after this stream is over. I think it's highly possible that I might be stinky, but that's okay. It's all for you guys. It's all for you guys. It's all for you guys. Here's a link. This video was called Stream Now, and it has all the technical details that you could need, but I go pretty slow and I walk through every bit and piece of setting up a stream. So if you watch this video and you just pause it when you need to and do the same things on your OBS, you're going to be able to get to the point where you can live stream to Twitch or YouTube, and you're going to hopefully understand why you did the things you did. Because a lot of these tutorials, they tell you do this, do this, do this, do this, and that's fine. But if you don't understand why you're doing any of those things, they're not quite as helpful. So what I kind of try to strive to do is give information in tutorials where I actually explain the why of what you're doing. So hopefully that video can help you. If you have a more specific question, like you're struggling to add a microphone or something like that, I can definitely help you with that as well. But yeah, as far as just a general thing, all I can do is recommend a video. Now, that video is in a playlist, and let me give you the playlist because you may find another video in the series or something like that. Everybody, this is why I make more than one video in that tells you how to do specific things. And it's because sometimes it just clicks for some people from one video, and sometimes it doesn't. And you know, sometimes it's just how it's phrased or whatever. So if you make multiple videos that kind of tell people how to do the same thing in a slightly different way, some people might really get it from one video, whereas another video might help a lot of people in another way. So I have. Let's see, I do have a playlist of my live streaming stuff. And someday when I find it, I'm going to post it for you right in the thing. Here it is. And this has at least 4 or 5 tutorials ranging anywhere from beginner all the way up to people who already have a pretty good bead on exactly what they're doing. So if that video that I shared in there is not exactly what you're looking for, you'll definitely find something in this playlist that's gonna tell you what you need to do. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Let's go here. Monica, what you got for us?
I have a question from Julio Servio. I installed the NDI audio resources for OBS, and now the software doesn't open. When I try to open OBS, it always crashes.
Okay. And what was his name?
Julio?
Julio. That's a fun name. Julio. Okay, so I've had a couple of people that had said that they had problems once they installed the NDI in OBS. So here's what I would personally do. I would, and I guess I could ask the question, are you running Windows or Mac? But I'm kind of thinking that most folks who are asking this particular question are probably running Windows. So I'm just going to tell you. So, and I'll show you. I will show you what you can do about this, because I think this might clear up your problems. We're going to go into our Windows thing here, and we're going to go into here, and we're going to go to apps, and we want to go to right here, apps. It's going to show you all of your apps. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to go and find your OBS Studio, okay? Click on that and uninstall it. And then once you uninstall it, I want you to reboot your machine. And then I want you to go to the OBS website, download the latest version of OBS, and reinstall it. Then, if you are still having problems with opening it and getting it to run, I want you to disable any kind of virus scanning software like Malwarebytes or Norton or any of those. You need to disable those before you run it and try it again. I think uninstalling it and reinstalling OBS should solve your problem, but if it doesn't, that means that it's interfering with something else. The most invasive programs that you're probably going to find are your virus scan software. Something about your virus scan software does not like OBS. Disable it while you're running OBS and it will probably solve your problem. He's using a Mac. Okay, so Julio, the same thing applies, but probably even more so about virus scanning software. And so if you wanted to uninstall it on a Mac, all you have to do is go into your applications. You go into applications and you right click on it and you move to trash. It'll move it to trash. You empty your trash, reboot your Mac. You go out, you download the latest version of the software, install it on your system. What version of the Mac OS are you using? Because this can also have effects on the NDI. I think one of the more recent NDI pieces of software was having difficulty with the most recent version of Mac OS. And if that is the case, then you might have to wait for the NDI update. And if that's the case, then all you have to do to remove those plugins from your OBS, all you have to do to remove those plugins from your OBS is to go into plugins. And I'm going to show you on my PC because it's difficult to show you on my Mac since I'm not on it, but it's going to be the same process. If you needed to go into, what you can do is there's going to be a plugins folder on Mac, just like there is on Windows.
Woo!
You just have
that
to,
was
incredible.
incredible.
To find it. Cornbread, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So let's see. It should be in the 64. Oh, you know what? I know why it's not there, because I installed it on its own partition. So what we can do, OBS Studio, here's the one. All right, so if you see where it says OBS plugins, and this shows you the plugins for 64-bit and blah, 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 blah. And if I go in here, I can find the NDI plugins and delete them out of here. Here, the WebSocket plugin. This one is for the OBS WebSocket. It's one of the ones that we install. OBS NDI right here. So you're going to have all these same plugins in your plugin folder in your Mac. So if you need to delete them, that's how you can do that. And then you might just have to wait for an update to come that's compatible with your particular version of the OS. So hopefully that answers your question, or at least helps you from it helps you from having to deal with it not like rebooting all the time and not being reliable. I've had 2 people now mention that installing the NDI plugins on their Mac caused their OBS to be unreliable. And if I had to guess, it's either virus scan related or it's the version of the Mac OS that you're currently running. But removing OBS and reinstalling it and then, you know, doing this sort of stuff will solve your problem. Clean your trash in a Mac, your trash can in a Mac once you delete the OBS app. Absolutely, Willie. Thank you. If I didn't say that. Ah, so he's running High Sierra. Yeah. Well, I would recommend personally that you update. You should just be able to go into your Mac in the top left-hand corner, or actually it's either in the top left-hand corner and you go down, you go to About, and then you can update your OS to the newest OS, because High Sierra is older and a lot of the plugins, they're constantly updating them because Mac seems to update its stuff all the time. So my guess is if you were running Catalina, you wouldn't be having the problem. In fact, some of the features in the newest OBS may not be quite as compatible with High Sierra either. So if your Macintosh can run the newest version, I highly recommend that you just jump up to the newest, latest version of the Mac OS, and it should solve your problem. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. That's a long way to get to where I should have been in the first place, but sometimes we don't know what OS we're running and all that kind of stuff. So do we have another question, Pumpkin?
We have plenty more questions.
All right, we're going to go here. How about this one? Because I like that one. We didn't get enough of this one. What do you think? Do you guys like this one? And by the way, what do you think of my sandwich maker over there? Pretty nice, huh? She's all right. She gets it done for me. That's all I want to tell you. If I need a sandwich, she's right on it. So what do you got? And they probably can't hear me anyway.
You're probably right. They're just listening to me laugh at you. We have a question from White Beanie Guy. He says, "Hi, host. He's new here. Welcome. Are you using native OBS or Streamlabs OBS?"
White Beanie Guy, I am using. Hold on, not that one. This one. Yeah, I got the double. All right. I use native OBS, and here's the reason why I use native OBS. I can use Streamlabs OBS. I can show you that even. Look at that. See, I do have it here. It's compiling food pick library. Wow. Look at that. I even have a camera device added in there and some other weird stuff. So I do have it. I do have it in here. Look, I'm even broadcasting the chat. How nice is that? Let's put that behind there. There we go. I do have Streamlabs OBS and I do have regular OBS. And the reason why I use regular OBS is because I'm just so ridiculously familiar with it. I started live streaming using a Mac. And when you use a Mac, you need every ounce of processing power that you can possibly get in order to just make the thing work okay. And with Streamlabs OBS, it's basically taking the original OBS. It's taken OBS, because OBS is essentially open source software, and it's putting it in a really pretty wrapper with a couple of features that simplify things. But the problem with that is that it adds a layer of overhead to OBS that you don't have in OBS. So when processing power is at a premium, I wouldn't recommend using Streamlabs. I would recommend using just OBS. But if processing power is not a problem, if you have a fantastic machine that can do all kinds of crazy stuff, then it's mostly a matter of what you're most comfortable with. And I continue to use OBS just because it's what I'm most comfortable with. But honestly, there really, from a feature perspective, isn't a whole heck of a lot of difference. So I hope that answers your question. But definitely, if you are a person who's using, if you're a person who's using a Mac, especially, and processing power is at a premium, then you should consider making sure that either OBS or Streamyard is where you're looking. If you have a PC, if you have a PC and it has a pretty decent amount of processing power, or it has an NVIDIA chipset in it, then chances are that's not going to be a problem for you. So you don't have to worry about it. And you know what? This brings up another thing. I wanted to mention that I did a video on a microphone earlier in the week. It's a budget microphone, and the microphone that Monica's using is actually one of the ones that I compare it to. If you're interested, you should definitely check it out. But I put up a poll after that microphone video came out where I talked about what sort of content from that perspective that you guys would be interested in me doing. You know, microphones or lights or cameras or anything like that. And overwhelmingly, people wanted me... Man, my nose is itchy. I'm sorry. Overwhelmingly, people wanted me to do videos that reviewed PC builds and things like that. And here's the thing. I've been a technician for 20 years. I built hundreds of laptops, or I built hundreds of desktops, and I put bunches of them together and all that kind of stuff. And I would really love to be able to do that for you guys. Put together a category of machines that would be, you know, the basic budget build for somebody who's live streaming, and then maybe the mid-level and the upper level, and then someone who's live streaming games and the mid-level and the low level and the upper level. I'd love to be able to do that, but it costs money. So I'm going to put this offer out to somebody in my audience. If you are a person who is looking for a machine that's specifically dedicated to live streaming, and you would like to sponsor a video, here's what my offer is. I will send you links to the equipment based on your specifications that you should buy. You buy that equipment through those links and you ship it to me. I will then do a video putting that machine together, talking about what the purpose it was built for, whether it's gaming and live streaming or just live streaming, and where it would fall in the hierarchy, and talk about how much it costs and all that stuff. Once my video is filmed and your machine is built to your exact specifications, I will then put it in a nifty box and send it to you. So you will have a custom built PC. I will have a video of building that custom PC. Everyone is happy. So if you're considering the possibility, or you've always wanted to have a custom built PC for your live streaming purposes, all you have to do is message me. My Twitter handle is right here. My Facebook handle is right here. You can also email me. It's in the About page on my YouTube channel. And I would be more than happy to try to figure out a way that you can get a custom PC built by me, and I can get an awesome video out of it that can hopefully help lots and lots of folks that are out there. So if you're interested, there you go. That's the pitch on that. And tell your friends. Maybe someone else is interested in a custom PC build built specifically for them. Let's go and see if there's any other questions. Are there any questions before? Wait, hold on. We can't be in the same location. There we go. Oh my gosh.
New location.
Oh. It all of a sudden got sweaty in here.
We have another question from Juan Francisco Puerta Ibarra. He says, I use NDI to have guests through Skype. Sometimes I show them videos from YouTube from a browser using OBS NDI output as a webcam. How can I send them back just the audio from it using virtual cable?
All right, can you repeat that?
I can. I use NDI to have guests through Skype. Sometimes I show them videos from YouTube from a browser using OBS NDI output as a webcam. How can I send them back just the audio from it using virtual cable?
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. This is actually not as difficult as you would think. Let's go over here into my tutorial. So you're going to import that particular NDI source the same way that you would import any NDI source. So what I mean by that is, we're in the NDI source guest properties right here. You're going to drop it down. You're going to select the NDI source, and your NDI source may have video and audio in the same thing, but you don't have to have them both outputted. I do not believe. I think there's a way. Sync source timing, network, alpha blending. All right, so what I would do here, all right, here's what I would do. here's what I would do. I would set up your NDI source here. If your NDI source has video or whatever, fine, whatever. The easiest way to get around that is to go here into color source, add a color source. Then you want to select your color source. I think we're going to go with our color source is black. Boom. Okay. Put the color source above your guest video piece here. And then if it has video, you won't see it. You'll just get the audio. And then you can add whatever else that you want on your scene. Like let's say we wanted a pretty image on the scene over top of the video. I don't know if I actually have any here, but let's just see if we do. Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. Let's see what this one is. Let's see what this, yeah, that one works. So you could put that right up. So you got this, and then if the image disappears, you still have the black source before you ever get to the guest, which is the NDI video right here. I hope that answers your question. Sometimes when you're doing things in OBS, you just got to be creative. If somebody is pushing something into your machine that has an NDI source, that's going to be the best quality audio that you're going to be able to get. So if you don't want the video from it, then just think of a way to hide the video and still get the audio. And hopefully that particular workaround will make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to use a virtual cable and try to route NDI audio sources when you can just add it directly and hide the video. So hopefully that makes sense. Is there a way? Oh, go ahead. Hold on. I'm behind.
You're behind. He's so
super
behind.
mega behind. I'm sorry. If anyone I didn't have a chance to say hello to that came in here, I love you guys. Thank you. I do want to try to, I always like to try to say hello to everybody, but it gets crazy busy. So.
It is.
And
yes.
You probably can't even freaking hear me.
Oh, okay. Omer Chen Rihanna says, what is better, Streamyard or OBS? I found it easier to upload guests in Streamyard, but broadcasting is done at 720p.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's Omar?
That is Omar.
Omar? Okay, so Omar, this is a loaded question. I use OBS because it gives me the most flexibility, and I've been using it for 2 years now, so I'm really familiar with how to work it, how to add separate cameras, how to add guests. So if I just wanted to not worry about anything and be able to add guests and never have to care about, because I'm going to be honest with you right now, Omar, I'm not even kidding. When you put together a live stream like the one I'm doing here, where we got all this panels and I'm flipping back and forth to the tutorial panel, and then I've got the Monica cam, it can be stressful. It could be very stressful. And it's nice to run a program like Streamyard that just does it for you, so you don't have to think about it. So I guess my point is that if you're just looking to enjoy the stream, talk to guests, not have to worry that somebody's going to drop off or somebody's audio is not going to work right or something like that, because all that stuff in OBS is complicated. Adding people is complicated. Adding audio sources is complicated. And then figuring out when something goes wrong is complicated. In StreamYard, it's not complicated. You just click a button and you add them and you can hear them and that's it. So while I do understand that it does go out in 720, go look at your analytics and see what people are watching your live broadcasts on. You might be surprised that 60 or 70% of the people watching your content are using a cell phone anyways. And chances are they wouldn't even know the difference between a 720 broadcast and a 1080 broadcast. So always keep in mind that don't kill yourself trying to make something crazy awesome, because the possibility is always there that people, like all my broadcasts go up in 1920 by 1080, but I'll bet you 60 to 70% of the views on all my broadcasts, my live broadcasts, get watched in 720, and some of them even lower, like 3 something. And I upload all my regular videos in 4K. But how many people actually ever watch it in 4K? I'll bet you more people watch them in 720 than 1080, and they're up there in 4K. So just keep that in mind. Don't worry so much about the resolution. Your audience is going to be more happy with good picture quality that they can see and great audio that they can hear. And StreamYard makes it really, really easy to do that. And and OBS is more complicated. So at the end of the day, it's not which one I really like better. It's which one is going to suit your broadcast better. Eventually, you're going to have to make the jump from StreamYard to OBS to be able to do a lot of the things that I'm able to do on this, like add widgets, like the jar, and add this sort of stuff. And eventually you have to make that jump in order to be able to add those features. But when you're just starting out, if you just want to put out a quality broadcast where you get to talk to guests, StreamYard's a friggin' great option. So I hope that answers your question, Juan. Models and cars, yeah, 7,000. Can you even believe it? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. How is that even possible? You know what? I should take a moment. I want to say thank you to every single person who watched a video of mine and said that this gave me some value. I really appreciate it and I want to see more, and click that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. And I'm going to keep trying to make the best content I can that helps you guys become better live streamers or grow your YouTube channel or anything like that. So please, if you have questions or problems or issues or whatever, I always take all that stuff. It goes into account when I'm creating a video so that I can make better content quality for you guys. So thank you so much for the 7,000 people that said yes to me. I appreciate that. It means a lot. It really does. Let's go over and see what Monica has to say.
Ready? Next question. Next question is from William Justice, and he needs help. He says, I think I'm going to attempt my first ever live stream tonight. Any last minute advice?
Awesome. All right. What was his first name, honey? William, dude, this is such an exciting thing. Man, can I tell you a story? Do you guys mind if I indulge myself just a little bit? The first time I live broadcast, I think I was on for about 15 or 20 minutes before anyone showed up. And, I had my first live broadcast had a very specific purpose. And I just was kind of rushing through it, just trying to get through it to get it done, because before I went live, I was so freaking nervous. I was in a full-on panic, like your heart's beating and you're just, it's crazy. And I used to call that the pre live stream rush, and the pre live stream jitters, or whatever you want to call it. And I did a live stream every single morning at 9 a.m. for a little over a year, about a year and a half, almost 2 years. Every single day. I'm talking Christmas Day. I was on at 9 a.m. every single day, sometimes from all kinds of locations, on top of mountains and whatever. And it didn't matter. Every single time I went live, I got that same nervousness 5 minutes before I was about to go on, and watching that countdown. And I was always so nervous. And then that 1 hour or so after that live broadcast, man, I was just on cloud 9. I was all jittery and excited, and it's just such a powerful vehicle to the audience, but it's even more powerful to the person who gets the opportunity to do the live stream, because it's just awesome. It's just awesome. So all I can say to those people who are just about to try to click that go live button for the very first time, enjoy the ride. Don't worry. Everything is probably going to go wrong. It just does. You've seen on this very live broadcast, 5 or 6 things go wrong. My mic gets turned off. I'm talking while I'm supposed to be on a different screen. My battery went dead. My internet connection goes down. Something's always going to go wrong. Don't be high strung about it. Realize that it all comes with part of the learning process. So enjoy the ride. Enjoy that 15 minutes of sheer panic that you get before you go live. And most of all, enjoy that 30 minutes after you go live, when you're just relieved that it's over and excited that you did it. You may get no guests. You may get 20 guests. Make sure you have something that you want to talk about on your live stream that pertains to the niche that you're broadcasting in. That's another big one. Put some bullet points down. If you do a live broadcast about raising goldfish, put down some bullet points about raising goldfish that you want to talk about on your live stream. If no one shows up, talk about those points. Interact with the camera as if it's your audience. Then at least when someone comes in, you can say, hi, how's it going? And interact with them. But be talking about something. Because if you're sitting here like this, when somebody comes in there, there's a 30-second delay, which means that you've already sat there for 30 seconds before that person actually came in there. And by the time you see them, it's another 30 seconds. So they could have already been sitting there for a full minute before you even know they're there. And by the time you say, hey, what's up, Joe? They're already gone. They're already gone. So be entertaining. Talk to your audience the second that you're on there. When you have nothing else to say or you have no questions in your audience, you've seen me do it. When I'm not getting any more questions, I thank everybody for coming and I sign off because I'm here to entertain. I'm here to answer questions and have some fun, but there's no reason to be on here any longer than I need to be. Once the live stream's run its course, it served its purpose, we move on and we get ready for next Saturday's live stream. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that gets you super mega excited for your first live stream because it's the best thing ever, man. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. All right, let's do this. We got another Monica Cam.
We do. I actually just want to read some comments people have been saying to you after you thanked everybody. We have a comment from David Rundell who said, great stuff, Michael. Really enjoy your vids. Beth Harris says, your stuff really helped me get out our church service online. Thank you. And Victor Adebaju, hopefully, says, thanks for your videos. I have been watching them for a week now as my OBS tutorial. He's from Nigeria. So those are some really nice comments about that.
Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Do we have any new questions?
Yes, we have new questions. Okay, we have Papucho again asks a question. He says, I use slobs for my streams. Usually have about 8 to 9 Mbps. Sorry, I'm not as techy as Michael is. Okay, of upload speed. But whenever I included a Discord call, the stream starts to lose frames. How can I fix it?
Okay. All right, so I'm not mega familiar with Discord as a course, but I do understand that people use Discord in order to add audio sources or calls to their live stream. The problem with me answering this question in an educated way is that I'm not sure if Discord has a specific sort of output that it's using to input into OBS or slobs or whatever. It might, because I know Discord kind of is like this with slobs, with OBS, Streamlabs OBS. So on this one, I might have to defer that I'm not an expert and I don't really know. But if there is another way to add audio for those guests, like what's the other one? Not Teams, but Slack, like the Slack or something like that. Like there might be better alternatives for adding audio that don't, because the thing about Discord is it's huge. It's huge. You could have hundreds and thousands and crazy people running in there. And so your machine is trying to aggregate all the chat and all the crap that's going on in Discord and export the audio. And then so your machine has to run that. Then your machine's running OBS and it's trying to aggregate all the chat and everything else and any widgets and all that other stuff that are going on in there. And then, and then that has to all come into your machine and go out. And so one thing I would recommend, next time you do it, next time you try to do it, go into your stats. You see I have my stats. I just pin them right here. If you don't know how to do that, you can pin them anywhere you want. I like them over here to the side. You can pin these stats anywhere you want. If you don't know how to bring them up, go into View and then Docs. And this is the stats doc. So it's super mega easy to add. Go into your stats. And this, you're going to try this while you're live streaming. If in the bottom right hand corner where it says CPU, that's all the way down here in the bottom right hand corner. If that is green, and you're getting about the kind of, you're going to have a green bar, and that's going to tell you your kilobits per second. If that's about what you set, like I set mine to 5,500, and right now I'm running 5670. So it's my kilobits per second for my stream was 5,500 plus 160 for the audio. Right on top of it is about 500 and 5,670. That's what that number is. So if you set your streams down here for 2,500 kilobits per second, you add 160 to that, and this frames per second number down here in your bottom right hand corner should be about that. And then if it is and it's green, then it's not your connection. So then you want to go up here and you want to look at your frames missed due to rendering lag and skipped frames due to encoding lag. And either of these are going to tell you that whatever's going on your system is because your machine can't keep up. Encoding lag is usually the encoder that's encoding your stream to go out to the internet. So like your video card, if you're using that for dedicated encoding. Render lag is usually how this video right here renders on your computer. And so if you're getting render lag, it means that your computer CPU may not be fast enough to keep up with your streams. So at least when you do this again and you're using Discord to input the audio, at least you'll be able to determine exactly what the problem is. Once you determine that the problem is your CPU or your video card's not encoding fast enough or your connection is not fast enough, once you determine that it's one of those three things, then we can dig deeper and say, okay, is there a program running in the background that's taking up render cycles or something like that? But for now, that would be the first thing I would do is go live and try it and see which one of those things is failing on you. And once you get to that point, then you're going to be able to probably figure it out on your own, I'm guessing. Because unfortunately, I don't have enough experience with connecting Discord to OBS to be able to get too much deeper into it. But I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you. Let's go to the Monica cam here, and we're going to see what the next question is. Bam.
Next question comes from White Beanie Guy. He says, are you using Streamlabs? How do you handle the 35 to 45 second delay in the stream?
I keep hearing everybody talk about the delay in the stream. Here's the thing, guys. Is your audio in sync with your video? Because if it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long it takes for it to get to the people out there. It just doesn't. You just have to pay attention to the chat, and it is difficult. I understand it's difficult because you're trying to respond to people in a chat and you say something and 45 seconds later they say something. But honestly, it just comes from the experience of talking in front of the camera. I guess I've done it for so long. It's dumb for me to say it's easy. It's not easy. It takes a long time to get used to the fact that the people are not going to be able to respond to you in the chat until about 45 seconds later, and that can be a little bit disconcerting. So as you do live broadcasting more and more and more, you're going to come up with crutches. That's what I like to call them. I like to call them crutches. You're going to come up with things that you will just talk about when there's dead air. So someone asks you a question in chat and you might say, well, that's awesome. I totally understand what you're saying. Are you using a PC or a Mac? Well, I know I'm not going to get a response from him about whether he's using a PC or Mac for like 30 seconds. So I've got to talk about something else as filler. Now, this can be a problem because I'm the guy who gets off track, and then I might start answering another question and get back to it later. But you have to understand that but as long as it doesn't degrade the quality of your image or your sound, it doesn't matter how long the delay is. You just got to kind of accept it and ignore it and just try to entertain the folks in your in your live stream as much as you possibly can. I hope that makes sense. Because that's the best I got on that one. It is tough. It is tough. When I used to not have my beautiful, lovely Monica helping me out with this, because I broadcast by myself a lot for the first 2 years. She never appeared on a stream or anything. And it's just something that you kind of get used to after a while. You get used to filling the time in between getting responses from your audience so that you don't have that awkward 45-second silence. And a good way to get around it is just with planning good content, planning your bullet points that you want to make on your broadcast, so that when you do interact with your audience, you can talk about another bullet point and get back to whatever his response is or something like that. That's really helpful as well. It's really helpful as well. I hope that helped you. I really do. I really do, because I do know it's tough. I do know it's tough. There we go. Back to the mock cam. Oh, and it's the big vagina. Not you, honey.
Not me.
No.
Moving on.
It's that location. If you've ever been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, we have an update from a couple weeks ago from the American Wanderer. He writes, a week or so ago, I asked about why my CPU is 90% while showing video loops. He says he figured it out finally.
Awesome.
So there you go.
Awesome.
Next question is from Moss6510 Models. He says, have tags lost their power in YouTube analytics? He's wondering the time writing out tag after tag makes a difference, and is it really just a waste of time?
And Moss asked this?
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. Moss, this is a super awesome question. It's all right. So tags still have a place. If something is commonly misspelled, a tag is going to tell YouTube that this is what you're actually talking about. So there's lots of commonly misspelled words. But I tend to believe that tags have as much, if not more, to do with ranking videos than they ever did. And I think especially for someone who's just starting YouTube, ranking your videos is the absolute most important skill to learn, because it's the only way that YouTube is going to, it's the only way you're going to develop a large enough audience for YouTube to know who to share your content with. And for those of you who don't understand what that means, okay, so when you first start YouTube, YouTube doesn't know who to share your content with, so it's going to go by your title and your description and your tags to tell it who that video is for, and it'll just test it out there, and it knows you're new, so it's not going to probably go ham unless the video is perfect and the audience that it shares it with responds to it immediately. That does happen. That does happen, but it's not likely. It's not likely. More than likely, you're going to make 50 videos or 60 videos or 100 videos. And in order to get YouTube to understand who those videos are for more and more, while you get better and better because you've just made 60 videos, you want to make sure that those tags and titles and descriptions are searchable, so that when your video quality gets better, when your thumbnail quality gets better, and when your titling gets better, YouTube, you're going to have had enough search time. You're going to have had enough people subscribe to you because they found you in the search, that YouTube is going to start to understand and figure out who the audience is for the content that you're releasing. And slowly over time, the more views you get based on that search volume, the more YouTube knows who to share your content with. And that way, when you do release that perfect video and YouTube watches how your subscribers react to that video and say, holy mackerel, this guy's usually getting 27% average view duration, but this video he's got 60% average view duration, and his thumbnail is usually around 4%, but this video it's around 9% or 10%. And then they start to say, there might be something here, and they start testing those videos with audiences.
So much.
And when they do that, that's when it happens. That's when it gets real. And you're going to see that stuff coming. You're going to see that stuff coming because you'll grow at little small plateaus. It'll start out where every 48 hours you're getting 200 views. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, if you continue to produce quality content, you're going to notice that that's not 400 every 48 anymore. It's 600. And then it'll go to 1,200. And then it'll go to 3,000. And, and then one day you're going to put out a video that YouTube really likes, and it'll go to 10 or 11 or 12,000 in 48 hours. And how do I know this? Because I've seen it happen. And believe me when I tell you, my channel was completely and totally 100% built on searchable content, because I think it's the smartest way to grow a YouTube channel. Even when my audience leaves and they decide that they're not into live streaming anymore or anything like that, those videos are still going to keep getting views because they're ranked. And when people search for live streaming, my videos come up because I worked hard to make sure that they were good videos and they rank. So even when YouTube stops sharing my content out, I'm still going to continue to get those views ad nauseum until somebody puts out a better video, which is why you always have to keep working to get better. But searchable content is the best way to start a YouTube channel, and it is by far the most sustainable avenue to having long-term growth. It's very, very difficult to create a viral video. Doesn't mean you can't do it, and I'm pretty sure that I could do it because I understand how the whole system works now. But I'm not sure. I don't want to have a channel that relies on that. So there you go. I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you, Moss. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the Monica Cam and get more questions. By the way, don't hesitate to continue to ask your questions. Michael T. Panetta from Tech Examine is writing those questions down and sending them over to the beautiful Monica, who is going to read them for us. Monica, here we go.
Next question is from Genevieve Christopher. She writes, I recorded a session using OBS to an external hard drive as an MP4 file, and I tried replaying the file and got an error. Any tips or tricks to avoid this, or how to play back a file like that?
Genevieve, my friend, I think you might be screwed. Let me show you why. Some file formats don't care. But I believe, and I think it might even say in here, right here, warning, MP4 and MOV files will be unrecoverable if the file cannot be finalized. So if you want to avoid the possibility of that sort of stuff happening, instead of selecting your recording format as MP4, select MKV or FLV or something like that. I know it's a little more difficult to use, but once the file's recorded, because then if something happens, if your machine reboots or whatever, that file is still usable, and then you can go into Handbrake and create an MP4 with that file or something. But that's why that warning is there, because if an MP4 file gets interrupted and it doesn't get properly closed and finished, it's pretty much useless. I know that sucks. I know. I'm really sorry that I don't have better information for you. But basically what happens is it needs that last couple of bytes to tell it how to read the entire beginning of the package. And then when the file accidentally gets cut off at the end or goes corrupt, it can't read those last few things and the whole file just becomes useless. Whereas because the FLV standard is just standard, it always knows how to read it, regardless of whether it gets cut off or not. So the best thing to do there is just switch to another format, and then once you have them recorded and you're done with them, use something like Handbrake to switch them into the MP4 or the MOV format that you really want to have. And Handbrake's pretty cool. It works really well. So I've even used it to upsize video from like 720 to 1080 or from 1080 to 4K, because you have so much control over how it handles it and how it does it. And it can actually look pretty good when you upsize it too. So Handbrake's free. You could check it out. I don't have a link to it, but just do a search for Handbrake. It's pretty awesome. All right, hold on. Let's go to the Monica Cam.
You're gonna have to speed it up a little. You got lots of questions waiting here. Got lots of stuff.
Keep going on to the vagina loop. There we go.
Now where are we?
We're getting wet.
Oh no. Okay, next question is from Alan Camo, corporate magician and mentalist. And he says, what Mac computer would you recommend for streaming? I know PC is better, but I'm a Mac guy.
And who is this?
This is Alan Camo, corporate magician and mentalist.
All right, Alan. I don't have a new Mac. My Mac is from 2015. It's a MacBook Pro. It has the 2 video cards in it. It has the integrated, and then it has a separate video card on the outside. It's probably one of the most powerful laptops that you could get within the context of the pretty powerful laptops that were built back then that so many people are still using. And it's unusable right now for me to broadcast live, to do the kind of things that I want to do. So with that being said, if Mac is what you're going to use and it's what you want, I would probably not go with the laptop. If you have the opportunity to go with one of the other desktop style Macs, they're going to have more powerful CPUs and all that stuff. They're never going to have the integrated chipset, and you can't use the Mac hardware acceleration to do the encoding because it's just not fleshed out. It doesn't work. You have to use N260, or you have to use .264 to use it. So my recommendation, because I don't know the specifications of newer laptops, or I don't know specifications of newer Macs, because my Mac does everything I want it to do except for live stream. So my suggestion would be probably to try to find the most capable Mac that you possibly can afford to get and try that one. But I can tell you right now that it's possible that you're still going to be disappointed, because it's just not built for that. It's like trying to run The Witcher on your Mac. It's just not made for gaming. So the best advice I can give you is, if you're fully intent on live streaming on your Mac, get the best one that you could possibly afford to get. In fact, the right person to talk to about that sort of specifications for Macs might actually be Tech Examined. He runs a tech channel. He has a very high quality Mac desktop machine that he uses, and he keeps up a lot more with the specific specifications of what the new Macs have in them, and he might be able to point you in the right direction. I know he has a Mac that he uses pretty well. Also, if you are dead set against using anything other than a Mac for live streaming, there are ways around the shortcomings that your Mac might have. Applications like Streamyard, where all of the encoding and all that stuff is completely taken off of your Mac, and it's all done online. If you're interested in a much more robust, shall we say, OBS-like thing, there's software out there like Wirecast, where it's still browser-based, but it has a whole heck of a lot more options and features. It makes it easier to add guests. It is paid software, but again, if if you have to use a Mac and it's not doing what you want to do, sometimes just forking up the cash to get the software added onto it that does what you want it to do is sometimes what you have to do. So I wish I had better information for you. Michael T. Panetta has a Twitter out there. You can contact him directly if you want and ask him a little bit more about specifications. He does use Wirecast, so he physically uses the software that I just recommended, that is a paid software, but does take some of the encoding off of his pretty exceptional Mac to begin with. We've never really done a whole heck of a lot of testing as to how well OBS works on his machine, but he does know what the good ones are and which one are going to be the most powerful to give you the best chance. I hope that answers your question. I certainly wish that I had better news for you, because I'm a Mac head and I love my Mac, but I had to abandon it for live streaming and just accept that it does really, really, really great. Oh yeah, Michael T quit Twitter, so maybe you'll have to contact him through email. The link to Michael T. Panetta's channel is in the description. You can also find a little bit more information in the banner up here about what his channel is all about. He's a fantastic guy, so don't be afraid. He's not going to beat anybody up. I don't mind playing, but I need to stream to Zoom mostly. I'm not sure Wirecast can do that. I don't know. I don't know. Michael Tech Examined would be able to tell you whether it can. Honestly, Alan, if all you're doing is taking your live stream and streaming it into Zoom, you might be okay with a decent Mac desktop. And you might be okay with some of the really new Mac laptops. But just keep in mind that you're spending sometimes pretty close to $5,000 or $6,000 for something that a $500 PC laptop, gaming laptop could do without even breaking a sweat. So essentially you're paying an extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to do something that you could do for $500. I love Mac too, but at that point, when we start to climb into those numbers, the math just doesn't add up for me. The math doesn't add. I'm still a cheap bastard. There's no way to avoid it. I'm still a cheap bastard. Let's go to Monica Cam and see what the next question is.
There's actually a follow-up from Alan. I don't know if you've already addressed this, but he says, should 16 gig be enough for OBS plus Zoom, or is it better to go all out with 32 gig?
Absolutely, 16 gigs should be sufficient. 16 gig is a lot. It's decent. In fact, I think if my Mac laptop had 16 gig, yeah, I might still be able to do a little more with it. But really, honestly, the problem is that the CPU takes on all of the encoding. And if your CPU is totally maxed out from the encoding that it's doing, no amount of RAM is going to help that, unfortunately. But more is almost always better because it doesn't have to use other swap space. RAM is always going to be the fastest way back and forth from the CPU. So it could help. It could help. It couldn't hurt, that's for sure. All right, babe, back to you.
Okay, we have another question from Omar and Cizo. He says, what's your camera again?
Okay, Omar, this camera right here is a Sony a6500. I am running it through an Elgato camera card. I think in my description, I have a link in there that says the equipment I use. It takes you to my webpage that has its very own little nifty information about all of the equipment that I use. This webcam right here, you can't actually see it on screen, but there it is. It's a second camera that I use on stream because of the simple fact that sometimes I go over here to this one or I add people in Skype and I need to have a second camera because OBS can't use the same camera, and then this OBS can't use the same camera. So that's what happens there. So my main camera is a Sony a6500. Hopefully that answers your question. If you're interested in the camera that is for this beautiful lady right here, that's an ancient Chinese secret. Actually, that is some $30 Chinese webcam that they said, hey, will you test this out? I'll send it to you. And I said yes. So I don't even know the name of the company, but it works. It works. And that's honestly proof that any camera will work. I mean, look at that. I know that the person we're looking at is just, all that already. But then you add in how not bad that camera actually looks for, I think it's like 16 or 20 bucks. And that's not bad. Got another question for us, babe?
I have another question. I have plenty of questions. Willie Castillo says, do you recommend any online tools to create animated lower thirds or layers?
Any online tools to create animated lower thirds or layers. Okay. And this is Willie?
This is Willie Castillo.
Okay. All right, Willie. So as far as vehicles for creating animated lower thirds, we're kind of in territory there that's difficult with a free piece of software. But as far as creating lower thirds and things like that for free and really, really advanced graphics, I highly recommend Pixlr. This is Pixlr X. I use Pixlr E as well. I created like Monica's lower third that you see on the Monica cam right here. Yeah, that one is that one was created in Pixlr, and let's see, let's go back over here. It really does give you the opportunity to do all kinds of absolutely amazing overlays and things like that. Now, it doesn't do animations. I haven't explored potential animation free animating software yet, but honestly, there are plenty of free editing software tools out there like DaVinci Resolve and things like that that might be able to give you some of the stuff that you're looking for. Now, if you're interested in how I managed to animate my overlay right here, this is all done in After Effects. And it's all done with light and shading. It's really, really super easy. If you guys knew how this overlay was created, you'd be like, you've got to be kidding me, really? Yeah, it's all done with trim pass and lights and lighting and shading, and it's not actually as complicated as it probably looks on screen. But as far as being able to do that out of a free piece of software, I'm thinking DaVinci Resolve might be your best bet to take stuff and do it. Now, the reason why I used After Effects for this as well is because After Effects will take a PSD, a file right out of Photoshop, and it will give me the ability to
that
create...
was incredible.
Bruce E, thank you. It will give me the ability to take each piece of whatever I created, each layer of whatever that I created in my Photoshop, and import it into Adobe After Effects so I can edit each individual layer separately. Pixlr E, which I have over here in the tutorial, works exactly the same way. If I go into a recently done image that I did, you can see that it works in layers, and all of these are, you can add and remove any single piece of these layers at any time. This is as close to Photoshop as you can get in a web browser based tool. So it's super cool, but unfortunately I don't know of anything like this that does animations as well that's free. So there you go. Jelly Duck, it is hot outside here as well, my friend. And Wendell Live, hello. Foot Replay is in the house as well. Woohoo! It's awesome to see you guys. It's awesome. Let me go back here, and then I'm going to go to the beautiful Monica, and we're going to get another question, I hope.
Yes, another question. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Ready. This question comes from Mig Yay, and Mig says, my widgets won't appear in OBS Studio. What do I do?
Wow, this is a tough one. Let's go over into our tutorial, and I'll show you how to add a widget in there, and hopefully it'll make sense. So we've got our image and our color source. I hope I answered that question about the NDI audio sources properly. I didn't get a response, or I unfortunately, I'm not really reading the chat all that much. That's why I require the beautiful Monica to kind of hang out with here and do that. So please, I apologize that I'm not specifically interacting more with the chat. It's not due to lack of interest. I love you guys. I'd love to interact more, but I want to make sure I answer as many of your questions as I can. All right, so refresh my memory, honey.
Yes, that was, my widgets won't appear in OBS.
Okay, so in order to add a widget to OBS, you just go to browser. We're going to use the browser source. Let's see. Let's add a chat widget here. Now chat widgets are boring. Let's add. I don't know. What kind of widgets should I add? GIMP will do overlays for streaming, Dwayne. Absolutely. It just works basically the same as Pixlr X, and it's more complex. And Pixlr X is nothing I have to download. I can go right to the web and use it. You know what? Let's just go with the chat widget, because I'm boring and I can't figure it out. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to my Streamlabs account, I'll drag it over here so you guys can see it. No, I don't want to drag it over there. All right, so I'm going to pull it here so you guys can see it. And we're going to go to all widgets, and we're going to go to our chat box widget. And then all we have to do to get our chat box is, you know, you can set it up any way you want here. You can make it look all pretty, all nice, all fancy. And then you just see this copy widget.
Oh my
right
goodness,
here.
thank you so much.
Just copy that puppy right there. It's really, that's all you have to do is copy that, and that puppy goes right here. So I'm gonna paste it in there. There we go. And that's not the right one. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Where is that? There it is. There it is. Copy. And there it is. That's the one. That's the one. You can set up your width, your height. You can do it at a custom frame rate. If there's audio in the widget, you can add it right here if you would like. Shut down source when not visible. This means if you have a video or something that's running, if you click off of that scene, it will not continue to run. And refresh the browser scene anytime this is active. This is something that you would want to make sure is selected if you are using a video source as your overlay, because that means it'll always start back at the beginning every time you do it. We don't need to worry about that for a chat widget though. And boom, there we go, nothing. Why is that not showing up? Oh, I know why it's not showing up, because it's Streamlabs. And sometimes, I don't know, is there anyone actually chatting on the stream? Is there a chat happening? Not. All right, so let's see.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
Hello, there it is, Dwayne. The subscription pop-up is pretty nifty. Ah, yes, I like the subscription pop-up. Thank you, Dwayne. I did a video showing you how to create that if you are interested. And that was created solely in Streamlabs, actually. I can show you a little bit of how that works. So if you were to go into your alert box widget, you can go down here and you can select your text widget, and you select up here which widget you want to create. In particular, let's try the donation widget or anything. And you see, I just upload my own image, I upload my own voice, and then I go down here into the CSS text and I modify this text right here so that it puts the actual text on the screen where I want it. And that's pretty much, it's that simple. If you're interested in seeing that video, I can find it and post it directly to the chat if you'd like. But I do have a video on exactly how I created that particular widget if you want to know. And let me put this back in my thing. Hopefully that informs you as to how you can add, how to add a widget in your OBS. If it's not working like that, then I don't know. Try starting with easier ones, and like this chat one, and see if you can figure it out. See if you can figure it out, my friend. Let's see here. I'm gonna go to this one here, and I want to take a quick second, and I want to talk about these guys right here. You can see that's the Fantastic Joe. He does Apps the Rule. We've got Gemma's Journey Grace. Gemma, if you're ever interested in finding out what it's like to live in the UK as an autistic person, Gemma is the perfect person to talk about that. Yeah, Monica says her name is Gemma, and Gemma says her name is Gemma, but you know what? I say it Gemma. That's because that's what her name is to me. So, Gemma, I'm sorry if you don't like it. Get over it. I love you, Gemma. Moss, I've talked about. He does awesome modeling and that sort of stuff. By modeling, I don't mean he wears a bikini, okay? Let's just get that right out of the way. It's scale modeling. So, and then I've talked about Gemma. I want to talk about this next person right here. Right here. That would be organic gardening in North Carolina. If you're interested in learning more about how to garden your own garden area with plants and vegetables and stuff, he does a fantastic job of he does a fantastic job of teaching us how to do it better. And I love the guy. He's been an awesome supporter of my channel since time began. So if you're interested in gardening, and please only if you're interested, check it out and let him know what you think. Let him know what you think. And the other one that I wanted to talk about, the other two on there that I want to talk about is Tech Examine, Michael T. He is the moderator who's helping me with questions tonight. Thank you so much, Michael. And also thank you for the ridiculous $25 donation. You are an amazing, amazing human being. I cannot wait until the moment that we can drive down and have a couple of beers together. And then the other banner over here that I want to talk about is Pauline Newman. Pauline Newman is the YouTube angel for a reason. She's just awesome. She's a fantastic YouTube personality. She makes me laugh. She's always a shoulder to cry on if you have a rough day. So I know her personally. But not only that, she does an amazing YouTube channel where she talks about designer bags and that sort of stuff. We're talking high level quality of content. If you're into designer bags, I highly recommend that you check it out. You definitely won't be disappointed. And then BK42 does an awesome channel about custom bikes. And trust me, he's a great guy. He's in Poland. If you want to know a little more about the culture in Poland, perfect guy to help you navigate that. Super, super awesome dudes. The links are in the description down below. If one of those channels or subjects piques your interest, please do me a favor and check them out, because I like to find channels that are doing good work and working hard every single day to get better at what they do. And if the subject matter that they cover is interesting to you, please check them out. And let's go back to the Monica camp. Let's see. Hey, Michael, thank you for giving me advice about the Skype call. It went very well. I managed the high school graduation very well with no echo whatsoever. Oh, man, that's awesome. Thank you for the kind words. And I'm glad that I was able to help. I'm really glad. That makes me feel so good. That right there, and I need to stop clapping in front of the microphone. I'm such a dumbass. That right there is why I do this, because I love to be able to help you guys. I love to be able to help you guys. Jelly Duck, you don't really have to go, but if you have to go, we love you, my friend. Thank you so much for all the support. Jelly he's been a supporter of my channel since time began. So I love the guy. I really appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let's go to the Monica Cam and see what the next question is.
The next question is from The Ghost, saying, do you know anything about voice meter and why is it so complicated? Please, please, please.
This is like the 487th question I've gotten on voice meter this week. I'm going to tell you something right now, and I wish that I could help you more, but I haven't. I've never seen it. I've never checked it out, and I've never installed it. I don't know anything about it, but what I do know is when I get 487 questions about it in 1 week, it piques my interest to find out what it can do. So while I cannot answer your question right now, I can promise you that it is something that I'm going to take a look at within the next couple of days. And I can't believe Pauline just did that. Pauline, thank you so much. My widgets are not working. Oh,
that's
there we go.
Awesome. Thank you.
And you should hear Monica over here, Pauline. Here, let's put on the sandwich maker cam so you can...
That's astounding, Pauline. Thank you so, so much for that. That's very, very wonderful of you. And that is why you're the YouTube angel. Thank you.
It's actually not. It's so much more than just that. It's so much more than just that. Man, you guys bless me. That's all I can say. You guys bless me. Thank you so much for allowing me to have the opportunity to help you. Do we have any other questions?
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. Actually, from the beautiful Gemma. Gemma asks, Michael, what advice would you give for disabled YouTubers, and how could you help improve their content, such as me?
Well, Gemma, this might not be socially acceptable for me to say, but I don't look at you as a disabled YouTuber. Maybe I should, but I just know you as Gemma. With that being said, the best way to reach a bigger audience, especially for somebody who does a channel that's very niche, what you're doing is you're talking about your experience as an autistic person. Make sure that you go to other channels that talk about autism and look at the kind of content that they're doing that's getting a lot of views. If they're talking about specific subjects as it pertains to autism, are they talking about events that or charities or something like that that talks about autism? You want to try to recreate content from their channel from your perspective that you already know is doing well. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because I don't think it has anything to do with your disability. I think it has everything to do with making sure that you're focusing on things that other people who are doing similar content is already working. The best thing that you can ever do for your channel is analyze what other channels around you are doing. Take the pieces that work, integrate them into what you're doing, put your own spin on it, and you're going to do awesome. That's just the way it works. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube. And they say that copying or duplication is the sincerest form of flattery, and they're absolutely right. If I'm doing something on this live stream that you like, copy it. Copy it. Because I can't tell you honestly if what I'm doing on this live stream really works, or it's gaining views, or it's doing awesome. But if there's something I'm doing that is appealing to you and attracts you to this channel, then steal it, please. Because I'm here to help you. And every other YouTuber who's had any success on this platform did the exact same thing before they found their foot. I promise you. So steal it. Go out there and find what other people are doing that works and integrate it into what you do on your channel. And here's the thing, you can't really steal it. That's the secret. You can't really steal it, because you're never going to be able to do exactly what that person does as well as that person does it. But if you want to try to replicate it, you're going to put your own spin on it, and you're going to do it your way. And there you go. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. What's that? Gemma commented, yes, I am mixing more with autism channels now, and also reading more articles from disability community. Yes, it makes perfect sense. I will organize a call with you. Absolutely, Gemma. And I think that's really awesome. Stop worrying about the community at large and start focusing on what others in your specific community that are interested in what you're talking about. Start worrying about what those guys are worrying about, because that's gonna take it off. Thank you. Love you, Gemma. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You are absolutely amazing. You guys are all friggin' amazing. Oh my goodness. Is it getting warm in here, honey?
It's getting warm. It's getting warm. You got to speed it up. Get through these questions. Boom, boom, boom.
All right.
Are we ready?
You're up.
Oh, I'm up. Didn't know that. So sorry. Far North Coins says, you mentioned Mac's struggle with CPU power for OBS. Will a newer iMac with i9 and 64 gigs of RAM and their best video card make a good streaming computer?
All right. So he probably heard what I said on the other question, and if he's just dedicated to doing Mac, he probably already got angry and left. And please don't misunderstand when I talk about Macs, because I'm a Mac lover. I love Mac. I just don't use it for live streaming. But with that being said, an i9 should have no problems whatsoever live streaming. And the dedicated graphics card is meaningless, because Mac doesn't offer you a way to integrate and use that graphics card for live streaming. That's part of the reason why Macs are so... That's part of the reason why Macs are so not good at live streaming, is because they don't offer you a way to integrate the most powerful encoding tool that you can own for your PC. You can't do it. But an i9 should do the job. It should do the job, because the whole job has to happen on the CPU, because Macs don't use hardware encoding. The hardware encoding that you see in OBS, I want to show you this right now, because I want everyone to understand this. If I go into settings, and I go to my output, here where I can select my encoding. And you can see it's got the NVIDIA because I have an NVIDIA card in here. On a Mac, that's going to have x264. It's going to have x264 software encoding. And it's going to have x264 hardware encoding. And it's going to say something like Apple Mac hardware encoding or something like that. They all have that. If you put it on x264 hardware encoding, it works freaking awesome, man. It flies. The problem is that it's not finished and Mac abandoned it. And so what happens is in the middle of your live stream, you're going to notice your bit rate that's right down here in the bottom right hand corner when you're streaming with the little green bar. It's going to drop from whatever your bit rate is. Let's say it's 5,000 to 160. And you're going to be scratching your head going, why am I losing connection? Why is my bit rate dropping to 160? Well, what's happening is the Mac encoder, the hardware encoder is crapping out. So it's dropping video altogether and it's just putting out your audio signal. And that's what the 160 is. 160 is the bit rate that it streams your audio at. So you can't use the hardware encoding, even though it works, for anything other than creating videos on OBS. So just keep that in mind. If you use it, you have to use x264, and it's all CPU related, everything it does. So you got to just have a killer CPU in there. Thank you, Gamma. My goodness. Gamma's awesome. Let me go back up here to my main screen. And I hope I answered that question for you properly. I hope. I know Mac people probably are not happy with me right now, but I just want you to know right now, the sandwich maker, the beautiful lady that's over in the question window, is using my Mac right now. I love my Mac. I edit on my Mac. I create all my video content on my Mac. Every tweet, every video I create for Instagram and Twitter and Twitch and any other platform, every single one of the 970 videos that I've created in the time that I've been on YouTube have all been created on that Mac. I absolutely love it. It just doesn't live stream well. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. Let's get to another question. Let's go back. I don't know why. Now my laptop's getting, my desktop's getting funky.
Okay. From Dolphin55. Is there a way to add the fade transitions option to text sources?
Fade transition option to text sources. Okay. All right. And then who was the question asker?
Dolphin55.
All right, Dolphin55. This is an awesome question. So let's go in here. I have this set to wall. Let's set it to fade. Okay. And I'm going to add a camera in one of these scenes so I can just show you what I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Let's see, video capture device. Let's call this me. And I'm going to select my USB live camera. I know we're looking a little bit at the corner here, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I have it set at a really crappy resolution too. I can't do that. I can't do that to you guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the extra moment and do it right. Okay? Sorry. Boom. Boom. Ooh, that looks into transform, and we're going to fit it to this. All right, so now there we go. And then I have another scene, and what I'm going to do, we're going to remove this. I don't even know what that is. From another tutorial. I'm going to go into this other scene, and I'm going to add me again. If I can, video capture device, we're going to add me. So now I have two scenes with me. And you can see if I go from one to the other, it doesn't do anything. It's not doing the fade. So I probably don't have the fade transition set up just right. So what I have to do is go, here's what I want to do. In other words, my point is that these are both the same scene. So in order to fade it, I have to have an overlay on here. And I think I know how I'm going to do that. I know it's not my overlay. I don't have fancy overlays, but we're going to use it anyways. We're going to add just an image. We're just going to call it an image. I think I put this one here. We're going to use this one. Okay. So I'm going to put the Monica Cam overlay on here. And then when I go like that, it'll fade back and forth. You see how that fades? So what I want to do is I want to put that overlay in here. Now, obviously, I'm guessing you're transitioning from one text image to another. And so what you could do, image, what you would do, and I'm going to see if this actually works the same way. It does. No, it doesn't. It keeps it as the same image. So what you would need to do is you would need to have this image be different.
So says they can't see your screen.
Oh, boy, I'm stupid. See? See? We all make mistakes. All right. So boom. All right. So what I did is I set up one scene here. It has me cam and this Monica overlay here. Okay? And then I have another scene that has me cam and this Monica overlay here. And what we want to do is I have the fade transition set up. But the problem is that if you look, when I do it, it doesn't look like any fade because both of them are exactly the same. So what you have to do is, in order to fade from one text image to the next, is have something different in, like if this text image was different, if it said Monica question cam with a question mark, it would fade from one to the other. Now I'm going to see if I can do something that will trick it. I'm going to see if I can do something that will trick it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this image. We're just trying to trick this into, you won't have to do this if you have multiple lower thirds that you just want to transition. But that's the only lower third I have right now. So I'm going to see if I can trick it to make it do what we want it to do. So I'm going to go into image, and instead of using the add existing, we're going to add an extra. We're going to add a second one. And I'm going to go in and use the same one, but we'll see if it's going to treat it the same. It does. It treats it the same. You ruined my life. All right, let's do something else. How do I get this to? All right, let's create it. Let's create it. We're gonna use full 1080, and we're gonna call this one overlay 1. And this will be a little bit of a pixeler tutorial for those of you who've never seen this. I like to use a specific palette when I do my stuff in, so it matches all my other stuff. So if you've never actually done something like that before, the easy way to do it is I just created a little color swatch. And let's see if I can actually find it. Overlay. There it is. So I created my own little color swatch, and what that does is now I have colors that I want to use. So we want our background to be this color, and so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to select this layer. We're going to go here, and we're going to create. And I don't like that. That's not what I want. I want this one, and we want a fat radius. Fat. We like it fat. The fat one. Fat radius. No stroke. All right. There we go. I like that. We'll do it like that. And I'm going to add some text. I'm not going to get all fancy here, okay? We're just going to add some text. And we're going to add this. Let's make it bigger. I know I said I wasn't going to get fancy, but you know what? If it's worth doing, and we're going to move this text over this little banner right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in File. We're going to save this as overlay 1. Boom. Download it. And we're going to save the file. Okay. So we've got that saved here. Now what I want to do is I want to change my text. So I'm going to go into text. And we're going to edit it, and we're going to say otter text is here. All right, and there we go. That's our other text. We're going to save this one as overlay 2. And I'm interested to see if this is gonna give us what we're looking for. I think it is. I think it is gonna give us what we're looking for. It should fade us from one text to the next, but let's just see if it does. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this image out. We're gonna go to properties and we're going to, I believe I downloaded those into my downloads. Documents, downloads, here we go. We're gonna go with overlay 1, and okay. And there it is, text is right here. Look at that, that was a well planned out lower third, wasn't it? I mean, you always want them to be right over your face when you do these, right? And then I'm going to go to this one here. And I'm going to use the other one. If I can find it. We're going to go to downloads and we're going to do overlay 2. Or did I do? Okay, so other text is here. Now, when I go from one to the other, you see how that fades? We're getting the fade in there. Now you can increase that. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. Maybe we want to increase the duration. And you can see it doesn't fade my image because my image doesn't change. My image is exactly the same, but it'll fade the text because it's different. See that? Ooh. 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 Now you might be able to do a fade to black here too. You can probably add that in there if you want, but if you do a fade to black, it's going to do the whole image. In this case, what it's doing is it's fading the two things that are different. And the two overlays are different, so it's fading between one and the other. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question as to how you could do a fade on text. I hope so, because that was a long way around to get to the same place. And I did it twice because I didn't have the right window open. So next time, remind me quicker, guys.
Oh, I missed it.
Where were you on that one, honey? Where were you on that one? She was looking at something else. She's probably playing games over here.
I can't find this question here.
All right, you're up.
I know, but I can't find the question. All right, so I have to go over here then. Okay, this one just says, I'm a DJ and new to the live streaming world. I have both Slobs and OBS, and my issue is from a design point of view. I need cool overlays and things, but having a tough time getting started.
Okay, cool. And who's the?
I don't see a name on this one.
All right. Well, so for anyone asking about making cool overlays and that sort of stuff, I just showed you how you can make lower thirds. As far as making overlays like the one that I use that's all around me on here, that takes some time. It takes some time to learn. So my recommendation would be to go ahead and just make a lot of them. Make a lot of them. First learn how to just create overlays like the ones we see here. Put your icon in the top right. Put your overlay in the bottom left. Switch between overlays for different scenes and different sequences. Learn what's good. Learn what colors you like to use for your overlays. Go into Streamlabs overlays, and I'll show you right here. I can show you right here. It works with everything. This tip always works with everything. If you go into their where is it here? Themes. Might be themes. Themes. And this is
oh my goodness, thank you so
all the
much.
Animated overlays. So you're gonna get stuff like this. And here's the start screen, the end screen, the zoom screen. This is what it looks like for intermission. This will have all the stuff. A lot of these are gaming related, but you can take a look at some of these overlays that you see in themes and get an idea of what you like. Let's go. Widgets, products, Prime. Stream overlay, and I want to go to apps, and this, that's not what I want. You want to be in themes. Themes has literally hundreds of different overlays, and you can sort them. Yeah, I think the camera overheated. It is mighty hot in here, as you might be able to tell. So I'm sorry that you guys lost audio. How long? Hopefully I wasn't going real long. So my point is that if you want to become better at the visual graphics and art stuff, be sure that you go out and you look at other visual art stuff that you like and just try to copy it. Try to figure out how they did the effects in After Effects or in Photoshop or anything like that, and see if you can figure out how they did it and recreate it. You're not going to use it anyways, because you know what? When you recreate someone else's work, you're always going to be like, it doesn't look right, or it doesn't look the same, or whatever. But eventually you're going to find things in your overlays that you like how they look and how they work, and then you're going to have your own style. Sony. Moss, trust me, it isn't Sony. It's friggin' hot in here. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Let's go to the Monica Cam and get to another question.
Another question. Okay, this is from Christ the King Ministries of India. My YouTube live streaming always goes slow and buffers. Please help me with that. I am connecting through OBS. And then Wendell Live actually did respond to that and asked them if they checked their internet speed, but then there was no response after. So I'm not sure if they're still here or not. But
Okay, what's the name?
Christ the King Ministries of India.
Okay. Christ the King Ministries of India. I'm going to go into the tutorial area right here real quick, and I'm going to show you how you can know whether it's your computer or whether it is your internet connection. Down here in the bottom right hand corner, when you click Start Streaming and you are live, you're going to have a little green dot here. Right next to that, you're going to have frames per second that you set in your settings. If the little green dot goes red or yellow, and you start to see some signs here that it says buffering or lost frames, you know for sure that that means your connection is not fast enough. That's what that means. Your connection is not getting up to speed. If, however, that stays green and your connection is solid and you don't have any problems, then you can go up here and look at your average time to render frame and missed frames due to render lag, and you can determine whether it's your CPU or your video card that's causing the problem. So that's how you can tell whether it's your connection or whether it is whether it's your connection or whether it's your equipment. So hopefully that helps you. I hope. And hopefully you're still here. Hopefully you're still here, because I've been long-winded tonight. Let's go to Monica Cam and see what we got next.
There's another question. How do you set up a live stream, test the feed, then use the same link later for that feed?
Okay, so how do you go to a live stream, test the feed, and use the same link on that live stream later? You can't use who asked the question?
He didn't provide the name. I can find find it.
Oh, okay. You cannot use the same link. In other words, once that stream is created, your test stream is created, it's done. You cannot use that link. You can, however, reuse the stream key. And I can show you how you would do something like that. Let's see. In order to reuse the stream key, what you would do is you go into YouTube.
William Wilson asked that question.
William Wilson. Okay. All right. So you go in. Let's see if I can find. Let's go in here, and I'm going to go into here and go to go live. I'm already live, so I don't know what this is going to do. So I just want you to know that.
You just responded and said I used the stream key.
Okay. So if I went to stream, and it's this. All right. Here you go. Here you go. New stream with last used settings. Reuse settings. If you reuse the settings, that means the new stream is set up using all of the same settings that you just used, including the same stream key. Okay? So you set it up like that. Then you can go in there and it's set up and you make sure you schedule it and all that kind of stuff, but it reuses all the settings. So if you had a huge amount of information in your description, still there. If you had,
that
so you
was
can test and you can be sure you're going to get the same result. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. It sounds like you were on the right track already. And what did somebody just subscribe? I missed it. All right, so there we go. Let's go back to the Monica Cam and see what else.
Okay, we have a question from Foot Replay. He says, "Hi from Brazil, Michael. Can you talk about social media chat on OBS by Streamlabs or another method?" And the sponsors banner.
Can you talk about social media chat? Absolutely.
Okay. By Streamlabs OBS or another method for Foot Replay.
All right, Foot Reply. That's an awesome question. So let's say that you wanted to have a discussion about something that you saw on social media. That's cool. I like it. You could go to what you can do is you would obviously add your camera in here or whatever your other sources are. But if you wanted to add a source that was going to have your I don't know, let's say you were going to go do Twitter. What you would do is just open up your web browser. And let's do Facebook. Let's do Facebook just for fun. Or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know if I have Facebook on here. Like I said, I don't use my PC for anything but streaming. So if I don't have it on here,
goodness,
I'm not gonna
thank you
spend
so
20 minutes
much.
figuring it out. All right, so I don't want to do that. Thank you for subscribing. Let's do Twitter. See if that's on here. What is happening? I probably don't have this on here either. Oh, there we go. So I'm in. Thank you, Pauline. Look at that. See what comes up? All right, so we want this tab. I think this is in Firefox. So I go back into my OBS here, and we're going to add, and make sure that you already have your camera source added and you have your audio source added and all that stuff. But what we can do is we can go to browser and we could just add it. But you know what? I think we're going to go to window capture on this one. I'm going to show you how to do a window capture, and we'll just call it Twitter. And we're going to go here, and we're going to Firefox, Twitter, Mozilla. There you go. And boom. So there we go. Now I can talk about this particular Twitter frame right here. And it's pretty much that simple. I hope that answers your question. You can do that for any source. You know, the other way that you could do it, if you wanted to, I'm going to remove that. But I can go in here and I can just go to browser and I can create a new one. And I could just go to Twitter. What is it? www.twitter.com? I don't know. You could just put in whatever URL you want to go to, and it'll show up here. And I know a lot of people don't like to do it this way because you can see I'm not logged in or anything. But if you go here and you go to interact, then it creates this second panel, which means that I can interact with it. You see what I'm saying? That's not bad. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to interact with it anymore, but that's what you can do. I hope that answers your question in a way that was creative, fun, and entertaining. Let's go to Monica and get the next question.
There is a comment from William Wilson. He said, thank you very much. He used your training for a live graduation last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Next question is from Mohammed Alawadi. He says, how can I have real-time chat appear when using OBS to stream to Periscope?
Please repeat.
How can I have real-time chat appear when using OBS to stream to Periscope?
All right. So to have a real-time chat appear when streaming from OBS to Periscope. I'm assuming that you're talking about the Periscope chat, and you want it to appear on your screen. So the only way that I know how to do this is if Periscope has the chat linkable. I'm hoping that makes sense to you. In other words, what you would do is you go up to View, and then you go to Docs, and Custom Browser Docs. Actually, we don't want to do that. We want it to appear on the screen. So all you would do is go into here, and then go into Browser Source, and you would write chat. Like I'll show you how to add the Google one. Or the YouTube one. It's going to work the same for all of them. So all I have to do is pop out the chat from my chat room, and then I can go into, and then I get the URL off of that, and I can't show you how to do it now because I'm actually using that in my other stream. But what you would do is you put that chat right there, and you click OK, and then there you go. Assuming that Periscope has a window with chat in it, all you need to do is get the URL for that window and paste it in as a browser source, and you are all set. It's that simple. It's really that simple. Hopefully that helps you on that one. Let's go back to Monica Cam.
Monica Cam. Next question is again from William Wilson. He says, how important is it to have a background that is fairly close behind you?
William, honestly, this is a matter of personal taste. Believe it or not, my background here is...
Woo! That was incredible.
What would you say? 4 foot behind me? I like to get as close to the camera as I possibly can so that the camera focuses on me and blurs out the background. This is a matter of personal taste. Your webcam isn't going to do that. It's not going to care. The other reason why I like to be as far away from the background as I can is because I'm trying to hide the shadows, and you can see I still get one on this guy right here. I'm trying to hide the shadows, so I try to light the background differently than how I'm lit, because I just think it looks better. So I guess the long and short of it is that you want to set up your camera and your backdrop in a way that's pleasing to you, and go with it. Monica's sitting right. Her back's 2 feet from the green screen. Sometimes it just depends on the amount of space you have in your room as well. This room is very tiny, believe it or not. So I'm here. The camera is about 2 feet that way, and the wall back there is about 4 feet that way, and 2 feet from that camera is the wall. So there's just and that right there where I have my display, if you look when I zoom out, that's an alcove. You know what I mean? That's just a tiny little alcove that I painted up and dressed up to look like that. So you gotta kind of just do the best with what you got. I wouldn't worry too much about how far or how close you are from the camera, figure out the amount of space that you have to work with, and then try to set up the camera in such a way that it's pleasing to you, or place things in your background to make it look the way you want it. I pretty much have my entire setup set up this way just because of I like the way that it's lit. Although, to be honest with you, it's making me look pretty sweaty right now. All right, let's go back to Monica Kim. I hope that helps you.
We're down to our last two questions. This is from Paolo Oliveira. He says, what is the best way to bring a guest to OBS while streaming? Do you have a favorite software to work with? OBS, Skype, or Zoom? Thank you for your great content, Michael. Dwayne actually responded to that and said he uses Skype to bring in a guest speaker. Paolo responded, thank you guys. I don't know if that answered his question or if he still is needing help.
Well, Paulo probably, I have the same answer. I like using Skype. I like using Skype with NDI because it allows me to add each individual piece of audio from each guest separately. It also enables me to be able to add each video separately for each guest. Other programs, basically you just have to do a screen capture and cut each person out. But with Skype, you can use their individual video feed directly, and it just makes it so much easier. So Skype is definitely the choice, the Skype with NDI. And if you have a question about how to do it, how to set up Skype with NDI or anything like that, myself or Michael T or somebody can drop a link in there to my video. It's called The Best Way to Add a Guest in OBS. And that shows you the whole process of how to add a guest using the NDI source. So there you go. One more, huh? One more. Let's go.
Okay.
Look at her.
Okay.
She's glowing.
Last one is from Hollywood Success, saying, referring to the $, show your support for Michael Fire Jr. How do we set that up? Will it work in a Facebook Live as well as YouTube? Is there any link to a tutorial?
The $.
Yes. Probably behind your screen.
The $. Oh, are you
$sign show your support for Michael Fire Jr.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me show you how that works. It's really super mega simple, and you can do it if you're using OBS on any platform. You can do it on any platform because all that stuff comes right from Streamyard. So let me switch over to the tutorial and I'll give you a little bit of a behind the scenes here. Where do I have it? Here it is. Streamlabs. Kablam. All right. So, all you need to do is have a Streamlabs account, and I'm going to go into my let's see, website themes, account donation, no, settings. Sorry. You go in, you set up your Streamlabs. You can see up here in the top right, I'm telling it which channel I'm streaming to. If you have more than one channel, you want to make sure you set it to more than one channel. You add your PayPal in here, okay? Once you add your PayPal in here, it says right here, this is the URL to your tip page where your viewers can send you donations. You just add that to your description and people can send you donations right here. You don't need a super chat or anything like that. People can send you donations right here using that exact link. Now, if you wanted to set up a widget that would, if you want a widget that will set up, like I use the jar. You can see the jars right there. I use the jar. You select the jar, you copy out the link, and then you go into your scene. You go to browser source, and I'm going to set up the jar. I just copy this in here, click the plussy, and boom, it gives me my jar. And so anytime that anyone goes and donates, all right, almost any time. Michael T donated a large sum of money that didn't show up here tonight. So it's not foolproof. I will say this, occasionally donations crap out on you from Streamlabs. But most times, this will give you a really cool animation that shows up. And you can set this up with all different kinds of Not just donations, but super chats and all that stuff. And if you're using OBS to stream to Facebook, then this would be on there. If you're using OBS to stream to Periscope or Twitter or Twitch or wherever, this will be on here. So as long as you're using OBS and you're adding it in as a widget, you can camera is very sweaty. I'm gonna have to find another way to get that fixed. But here is the link to the video that's going to tell you more about widgets. I don't know how long I was actually out there, but I love you guys. I think that's gonna be it for me tonight because we are having overheating camera problems, and it has been 2.5 hours of constantly 2 hours. Yeah, well, it's 10:30, so it's definitely been 2.5 hours. Let's pop over here. Please, if you are interested, support any of these amazing individuals over here, if you would like. They're awesome channels. They've supported me for a long time, or they're just awesome people. If you're interested in supporting my supporting my channel,
so much.
I welcome you to do so. I have a Patreon page where you can support me. Donations and all that other stuff are always acceptable as well. Any little bit that you guys get can really help me out. So I appreciate it. I thank you guys. Thank you everyone who donated to me this evening. You can see amazing Pauline Newman, Gemma, and of course Tech Examined. You guys are too much. I love you so much. So thank you. To anyone who got a chance to ask a question tonight, thank you for taking the time out of your night to come and hang out with me and ask questions. I really appreciate it. If for some reason we somehow missed your question, I sincerely apologize. I also want to apologize for not spending more time talking to you guys in chat. I love you. Please know that this is an interactive live stream, and I want to make sure that I can interact with my guests as much as possible. So just know I love you guys, and I just want to make sure I answer as many questions as I can. Hopefully I did that tonight. I know there's weird shit going on in the world right now. So everybody do me a favor, please. Hug your kids, hug your wife, call your friends. Do something today that makes your life meaningful. And you know what? Doing something nice for someone else always seems to make life meaningful. So do that. And you'll feel better about it too. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Have a great night. And thank you for all your kindness. I will see you again soon.